Now that the holidays are in full swing, I thought it might be appropriate to do a video about some educational activities that you can do with your kids but are still playing and having fun. So I put together some things that you could do for the holidays. Most of these are either really, really inexpensive or free, so you can like print them out and do them right away. Hey you guys, it's Christina from the Purple Alphabet. I've done videos like this just recently. I did one for Thanksgiving. I did one for Halloween where I pulled together a whole bunch of resources that I found for you and curated kind of a list of activities that you could do with your kids that were very, very affordable, free, easy, like you could print them out right away and get them done and have something for your kids to do. That's what this video is going to be, except it's going to be the holiday edition. I'll have all of my resources listed down below in the description box so you can go and print out some of these things right away. But I thought it'd be great to pull together some ideas that I thought were really great for all different age ranges. And about different age ranges, now if you have a child that you're not quite sure where they fit, because every kid does learn at different rates and different ages, so if something's too hard for your child, scale it back down, make it easier. Instead of doing addition, do color recognition. And if something's too easy, like I'm talking about ABC and letter recognition, make it a little bit harder and do it as multiplication. Whatever fits your child, you just kind of change it up a little bit. At least that's what I do. And if you're new here, make sure to click subscribe to see more videos like this. We do educational activities for kids and ideas and inspirations to learn through play, but not only that, we do hauls and giveaways and all that kind of stuff in between too. So I'd love it if you were a part of the Purple Alphabet family. You can drop me a comment, say hello. If you aren't new, you can say hi too, because you always know I like to read the comments. It truly is a great part of my day to read what you guys are saying, and I might pop it up here on screen so everybody else can see it. And with that, let's get started with our activities. I really want to be able to show you a variety of different activities. So what I have here is a container and a whole bunch of pom-poms, and this is the most simple thing that you can do. You can buy these colored pom-poms right now at Dollar Tree. Most craft stores have them too. I just got some in the Christmas colors from a multicolored pack. I just pulled out the red and the green and the white. This is another tray from Dollar Tree or from the Target dollar section, one of the two. And a simple color sorting with this will do. And I'm showing you this because it's just a variety of things you can do with the most simple items that you might already have, and you can turn it into something that is a really meaningful activity, such as color sorting here. Now, if color sorting is too easy, then you can just go ahead and supply this for your child. I have another idea also using a Dollar Tree item, and that is with these. These are your DIY ornaments, and this isn't the bulb one. This is kind of like a little cylinder here. And the reason why I chose this is because it has a wide mouth here at the bottom, but then it also has a smaller mouth up here at top. So you just take that off, which is the part that you use to hang it up, and now you have a smaller ornament here on top. Now, these are Dollar Tree items, so the quality isn't the best. What you need to do is file this down if it's rough, because you don't want to hurt any little finger. So I feel a little rough spot on here. So if you could just take a nail file and file that off, you'll be okay. So this activity is just a really great fine motor activity, and it's pushing those pom-poms into the top of this container. So your child will take a little pom-pom, any color they want, and they push it right in. And so this is great for that toddler age, a preschooler age too. If your child is a child that puts things in their mouth as a toddler, then I would not recommend this. You can also find bigger pom-poms like this for the children who tend to try to do things. So if a choking hazard's of concern, you can get a bigger pom-pom. This won't fit in this container, so you'll need a bigger container, but those are available. And the reason why I think this is a great tool is, one, because you can get the package of pom-poms for $1. You don't need the container. You can just use anything you have at home. And this little guy here is $1 too. And the way that you open it, you just push it back out to dump them all out. So I really like that about this one, because it's really simple to get in and out, and you have a great fine motor activity. You can do one color, say put all the green ones in, put 10 in. You can make it a math activity too. Really, really simple and easy thing to do. Real quick, I want to point out too, as I always do, is using tools. These are my favorite tools. I talk about them all the time. I always tell you they're my favorite. It's actually 2 sets of tools here, but we have some different ones that you could use for fine motor activities. This is in my Amazon store. And so if you wanted to use the tools, and because putting them in this container is just too easy, you can make it more difficult by using some of these, like the tweezers. Using this one that opens like this, by pushing it, it opens. And then this one, you have to pull it open for it to open, which is the opposite of the yellow one. And you can find these in my Amazon store too. I think they're under my favorites. I have a whole like gift list full of favorites. This is a free printable. I think it was from 123 Kids Fun. All the links to my printables are going to be down below in my description box. I printed this one out in black and white. I would recommend for this one just to do it in color, especially if you're going to use it several times. Maybe you're just going to use it for Christmas and you only need, 1 or 2 times. time, so that's fine. And then I do recommend laminating it because that's going to make it extra sturdy. For sake of showing you guys, I just printed it out on paper because that's kind of easiest for me to show you because I have older children and this is going to be far too easy for them. And they have these little lines on here, so you'd cut them out. You can laminate them so they're nice and sturdy, and you're doing a matching puzzle. Now, if you have a really young child that's working on this and able to do this little puzzle matching, start with just a few, maybe 3 characters or maybe just 2 characters, and then mix up the cards. If that's too hard for them, just do one at a time. So by giving them the 3 different pieces, they have to put the pieces together. And so you're going to make this easier or harder depending on what they are capable of. You don't want to frustrate them. Then you can add in more pieces and eventually do the whole puzzle, and they could match them up. And then they can also make funny ones, funny combinations. If you have a child that understands the humor, maybe do this and put the snowman on here too, and you have it all mix and match, which can be kind of fun. So that's a really simple matching game that I think is great for the toddler age. Also, the preschool age will probably be very entertained with this one too. Getting a little bit more difficult. This one was amazing. You have your whole alphabet from A to Z in this free printable. Yes, it is free. Yes, you can print it out now. I got A, B, and C on here. And what you're going to do is supply your child with, I'm going to use these do-a-dot markers. Oh, throwing things over here. The do-a-dot markers, you see my box has been kind of worn. You can pull out the red and green if you want to stick with your Christmas theme. These are like bingo markers. I like these because they're just a really good brand. I put them in my store too, and I'm always recommending them. They're the do-a-dot brand. And you have a really simple activity here in which they're going to be matching the letter on the star of the tree. Now, there's also lowercase on here, so if you wanted to, you can have them do one color in uppercase. This is asking for the uppercase, so you're actually distinguishing from the lowercase, but I could see how you could do both. And so you just find all the A's. This is great visual discrimination. Not only that, letter recognition and then understanding the uppercase and lowercase. And a little bit of fun art here. I actually kind of enjoy this. It's like playing bingo without playing bingo. This one only has 1 lowercase on it, and I'm just going to stamp it green. Oh no, it's 2 lowercase. See? Look at me. And you can do each one like that. If you don't have these do-a-dot markers, you don't have to use them. You don't have to buy them. They're just a fun tactile thing if you already have them. You can find some generic versions at Dollar Tree, or if you guys want, just color them in with markers, or color them in with a Christmas stamp, or use colored pencils, crayons, whatever you have. Never feel like you have to go out and buy something additional. Just do what I do. I look in my closet and I try to find things that will work to do the same kind of purpose. Okay, I'm a little addicted to this. Did I miss any? I don't think I missed any. Anyway, the full alphabet's available. To keep it simple, just do 1 letter at a time. Maybe your child's only working on a couple letters at a time, so print out just what you need. Or if your child knows all of their letters, then they can go through the whole entire alphabet and be quite busy for some time stamping all of their letters. Oh, I missed one. I missed a couple. There's some lowercase. It's hard to tell. This activity would use some floor tape. I have found this a long time ago at the Dollar Tree, but you can use masking tape, find some colored tape, electrical tape, painter's tape at the store. And basically what you're going to do is take this tape and make a giant Christmas tree across the floor of your house, as big as you want. And you can have this of walking the line. So you're going to need a tree trunk and you're going to need some branches. And not only that, is I would go ahead and prepare some ornaments, maybe with construction paper, cutting out some circles. Happen to have this scrapbooking punch that makes pretty big circles, but you can have bigger circles if you wish. To make some ornaments, you can cut out a star to add on. And so what you're having your child do is to walk the line. Let me cut out some ornaments here. Cut out a whole bunch of ornaments, a whole bunch of different colors. Have your child walk the line, and as they walk the line, they're going to take one ornament and place it somewhere on the tree. You can direct them to it. You can just have them fill up the tree. Maybe it's one color per tree branch. Maybe it's what tree branch only has orange or only has yellow, and then you work walking up and down. So you're really working on some gross motor skills, balance, and coordination. And you can also include some educational learning in your math. However you want to work it, you can include some learning aspect to it as well. This next one was a whole entire packet. I printed out just a few of them to show you the selection. These were my favorites out of the whole packet. This is a free printable too, and I kind of have them in order from easiest to hardest. This one's just a counting snowflakes. It's a cut and paste. You'll have your child cut. Of course, cutting is a skill that preschoolers should know, and it's a great exercise to work on that. And then pasting, also working that glue bottle, working that glue stick. These are all skills that every preschooler should be working on, and kindergartner too. And so basically they would cut out each one of these individually. They'd count their snowflakes on here and then put the appropriate label on it with their glue stick. You can also have them color the snowflakes if you want. That's another option. Also in this kit is number words, which which I think gets forgotten from time to time. So this is reading the number and then coloring the correct number. They could color it with crayons. They can bring back their little daubers here and daub, or they can just color it in if they wanted to. So it's recognizing the number and the word for that number. This one is another cut and paste, but it's putting numbers in sequential order from least to greatest. This requires a child to know their numbers up to 100. Not all preschoolers know that, and I recognize that, so that's why I'm kind of saying this is a little bit more difficult. So if your child's able to do this, then you can print this out. If not, don't print it out, but it's a cut and paste, and you're going to cut them and put them on there according to number order. Next, we have count by tens. Once again, not a skill that every early kindergartner knows. Some do, and so I know mine kind of did mid-year. So we have the number order counting by 10 on the mittens, and then you'd finish up down here in filling in the blank. Just another really cute one because it's themed by mittens, snowflakes over here. And all of these were in one packet, so there was more in that packet too. For this next one, I'm going to put kind of my things on a tray here. You're going to need some construction paper. I'm going to pull out a piece of green because this is about making trees. And so this one is one that you'll probably want to pre-do. There we go. I had two pieces. I thought I had two. You can have your children cut out the trees if you wish. That's totally fine too. But basically what we're doing is cutting out a whole bunch of Christmas trees. I feel like I've showed this activity before in a previous video, so you might want to see some of my previous videos that I've done because a lot of those are for younger children because that's what I had at the time, and so I might get a lot of ideas from those previous videos. All right, so I am just winging it here. I'm going to cut out 3 trees, but you're going to cut out probably a full set of at least 10 or up to 5 depending on how old your child is, and place them on there. You're also going to need some clothespins, but on your clothespins you're going to want to write numbers on here. So if you're doing 1 through 5, do 1 through 5. If you're doing 1 to 10, do 1 to 10. I'm going to say that this is 4, and then you would just label all of your clothespins accordingly. And what you want to do is put some ornaments on here. Now you can color them on if you want. I happen to have some stickers. These came from the Target dollar section that have ornaments on it. So you can do this a couple different ways. So the first way is to have your child actually put them on, the stickers on. So for instance, if you give this to your child and you have them clip on the 4, I should have written that the other way, you guys. Oops. Then they need to put 4 stickers on here. So they like to put on stickers, so they can find 4 ornament stickers, 1, and so now they've decorated their tree. Alternatively, once they're decorated, you can actually take them all apart and all of your trees with ornaments on them, provide them the number ones, and they can do the matching to that actual tree. And then your clothespin serves as the stump of the tree. It's a very cute activity, and I should have put my numbers on the other way, but you guys know how I always mess up because I am human and make mistakes, so I'm totally okay with that. So this activity you can do 2 ways, by putting the ornaments on, and then once you're done with that, you can bring it back out again and reuse it and use the number clips with it as a number activity. Another quick craft that I want to suggest is using some cotton balls, some glue, eyes, you won't need that much eyes, and some construction paper too. You will need a lot of cotton balls for this, and if you're like me, I have some cotton balls. Or you could use pom-poms too. Pom-poms work just fine. And what you want to do is to create the pieces for Santa's head. I'm going to use this red, white piece here just because it's there and it's easy. So ahead of time, go ahead and prep. I am just going to do kind of a face shape here, rather large. So you want some space to glue. And then a hat that would fit along with this, which should be kind of like this, probably a little triangle-ish, right? You could have your child do this too if they're able to, if you have an older one who can help out with that. And so you just present this by putting all of your elements here, and then they can go to town. Now what they're doing is they're making their own Santa. So they're going to need this. They're going to glue on their eyes. You know, it's hard to see that white, isn't it? Let me put that underneath something so you can see it. Here we go. You're going to put on their eyes, glue them down, of course, and then you're going to fill up and glue down all of your cotton balls to make Santa's beard. You're going to glue on your hat. You can also do your little ball up there and glue that down, and you can glue some around here. I need some more cotton balls. And you can even have them add in a little red nose. Why not, huh? And then make their Santa Claus. So this should be all glued down. It's the simplest, easiest craft, you guys, that you have this stuff at home. These are the things that I used to make in kindergarten because we didn't have huge craft stores. And it's just using the supplies. So paper, if you don't have construction paper, use white paper and color it in and color your hat red. Cotton balls or pom-poms or little pieces of tissue paper from present wrappings. And then even using eyes, you can draw those in. So this is a make your own Santa. Here is a free printable that's about sequencing. So sequencing is great because it's kind of understanding how a story works. It has your first, middle, last, and putting things in order. And so usually sequencing will start with pictures. And so we have pictures down here, and then you work up to words, and then you're working up to story structures, and you get more advanced, okay? So what this is going to do is you have these passages to read. And of course, if you start off with a preschooler, they're not going to necessarily be able to read that, and that's okay. And we have our terms here: first, next, then, finally, and those are all notated in our passages. And so we're taking all of the items down here, cutting them up, and putting them in the correct place. A very simple Christmas sequencing of what happened. So it says we set up the milk and cookies, Santa came down the chimney, filled our stockings, and put presents under our tree. And so it's understanding all those parts and in the order they happened. So I think this is pretty cute and very simple thing to do. And you can even color the pictures down here if you wanted to. A little phonics activity that actually was in one packet. There's kind of two parts to this. These are the cards that come with it. You can print these out in color and they're super cute. I just printed them out in black and white to show you. There's almost three pages full of them. And so what you would do with these cards is just cut them apart. Where'd my scissors go, you guys? I already lost them. Here they are. So you can cut these apart. I would recommend laminating if you want to use these long term, if you don't want them to get ruined, putting them on heavier cardstock. But for sake of YouTube, I'm just going to print them out on here to give you a quick demonstration. So once you got them printed, cut out, and laminated, you now have this little answer sheet here in which you have the different vowels. And so you're looking for the vowel sound that's in the middle. You can use those little do-a-dot markers again on these, or you can color them in if you wish. So we're looking for the middle vowel sound here. This whole activity is for middle sounds. So if your child's master beginning sounds and end sounds, they can work on the middle sounds. Usually happens in kindergarten, late kindergarten, early first grade. And so we have the sub, so we know that's going to be you, and we would just mark it like that. And then we would go through all of the cards until we get to the whole page being done. Also on here is this one where you can mark it just right next to it. So we know this is log, and so we would do the O there. Once again, you can use markers or whatever to color in if you don't have these little markers. Since I have my little do-a-dot markers out, I'm going to go ahead and show you this one. This is a hundreds chart mystery pictures. I think these are really fun. So we have our hundreds chart here, numbers 1 through 100. I did an activity video for the Montessori 100 board. It's really related to that. You can go back and watch that video that talks about how to use and different ways to use the Montessori 100 board. Now here we have a color code. Here's orange and brown. I don't have a brown do-a-dot marker, but I do have a purple, so I can mark this purple just because I use what I have, you guys. I don't have to go out and buy another one. And then red right here. And this is how I kind of help my children to visually get things a little bit better at this age, and orange. And so now they're finding all of these numbers, and that's our key. So we know numbers 1, 3, 8, 10, and 12. 1, 3, 8, 10. And 12, 19, 23, 28. So I can already tell because I'm an adult and can see it, that these are the antlers of probably a reindeer. I bet if I filled in my red here, it would become very apparent. There's his nose. And then the rest are probably going to be body. He's going to be a purple reindeer. You guys are okay with that, right? I'm totally okay with that. 35, 36, 43. There we go. And now we can see the hidden picture. Isn't that adorable? Oh, look, this one even took out the numbers. That's pretty cool. So they have to fill in the numbers to know which one. I think that's clever. And here is another with the do-a-dot markers. Here we have syllable counting this time, but it's Christmas related syllable counting. We have a couple different sheets. I would print these in color just to be more fun because it doesn't use a lot of ink for these little pictures on the side. We also have the word here for each one in case you can't tell what the picture is, which I think is great. And this is figuring out how many syllables and then using your do-a-dot marker or coloring in the correct one. So this one is card, has 1 syllable, fireplace has 2, and you can go down the entire list that way. Very cute, very easy. And I really do think the kids like those do-it-dot markers on this one. I wanted to move up to a little bit more difficulty in as far as the activities go. This is probably more suited for first grade and up, maybe end of kindergarten, just depends because there is an ABC key up here, but it's called Santa's reindeer. So we have Santa's reindeer up here, and you're supposed to put them in alphabetical order. Some children know how to do this skill, some don't. I would say my first grader would be able to do this very well. But like I said, there is a key up here to help out, so it makes it a little bit easier. Really simple, just writing this one out, and you can also color the reindeer if you wish. A really great activity, even for the kindergarten age, just depending on what you put inside of this, is to make a STEM kit. Now, I just kind of stuffed this tray full of a whole bunch of stuff here, and I would not not present it to my child this way. So let me just dump everything out and give you an idea. And give you an idea of what you can put. So just take a tray, cookie sheet works, a box works. And what you're wanting to do is to put materials in here nicely that would inspire your child to do a STEM activity. So this is a STEM tray. And the activity that I would present them with is to make a Christmas tree. So I'd probably even include some scissors in here too. And so I'm providing a whole bunch of materials that could be used to make that Christmas tree how they wish. These are like little Unifix cubes. And I just pulled out the green colors, the Christmassy tree colors. And let's see what else. So Unifix cubes. I also pulled out some Legos, so in different colors. So maybe they wanted to make a tree trunk. Obviously the popsicle sticks are here. And so I just literally raided my house. So if you don't have any of these things, look to see what you have that could possibly be used to build a Christmas tree. So I have some Legos, some different color Legos. I even found some magnet tiles. I don't know, maybe they could use these. You don't have to supply all of these materials, but I'm just going to give you some ideas here. I have the magnets in the square shape and then also triangle, although I'd probably get more of those triangles out before I present this to my child. I even have a Lego base here. I don't know, maybe they want to use that. Some Play-Doh, some green Play-Doh in this little container would be a good idea too. In here, I brought out the Jenga blocks just to show you that you could have a variety of different activities. They could easily stack these to make a Christmas tree too. These are from the Dollar Tree for the pack, and so very ingenious thing to have on hand for creating and building. So you're presenting this to them and having them create their own tree using the materials supplied, and that is the premise of a really fun STEM tray. They might get very creative. You might be surprised without any guidance from you on how they use these materials to make a Christmas tree. So look around your house, really try and find these materials that you already have and use them to your advantage. Put them all together in a nice presented tray like this, or maybe you have a divided tray, maybe you have a cookie sheet, I don't know, a box, and let them go at it, and you have a really great STEM activity. Another free printable. This comes in a couple different parts. This is our Christmas tree. Print this out in green if you're going to do this. It comes in green. You get a sheet of ornaments and things to decorate the tree with. Once again, print this out in color. It'll be far more beautiful. And then you get these cards. So you would cut these cards apart. There are quite a few of them. These are all math centered. If I read a few of them on here, you can kind of get the idea here. It says put 4 angels and 5 bells on your tree. How many decorations are on the tree? So you'd put 4 and 5 here. But not only that, it's a very tactile activity where they would have all of these cut out and then they can place them on the tree to do their addition or subtraction. And each one of these is different. This one has candy canes and bells. This one has angels and ornaments, and it just goes through the different pages. So what you can do is cut these out, laminate them. You could also laminate them and they could use a dry erase marker on them, which is excellent. And then you'll have all these little pieces together in a little cup or a jar, and they can decorate their tree. I think it's all addition. There might be some subtraction on here too, because there's little boxes to fill in the signs. And then this is a great activity that's a very visual activity, very hands-on. So I like that. This one is great for money. If you have a child that's learning about money, and this time of year is probably a good time to talk about money because we seem to be spending it a lot. But we have all of our items down here. Say it's a Christmas shop. All of our gifts cost a certain amount, and we need to know if we can buy it, yes or no. So we have the change amount for each one, and we have to be able to count it and then decipher whether or not we can buy it if we have enough money. You could also pull in some real coins with this, so you can have a great visual example. They can do some matching up with the real coins. And then the second sheet is an answer key, so you can just take a glance and know if the problem's right without having to count all the coins. I like this a lot. I have a whole activity video, like an entire video about introducing money and the steps to build upon to get all of those concepts down. So if you're interested in working on money concepts with your child, I have a video that covers all that, and we found those activities to be very helpful when we talked about money at our house. This one is probably the most difficult activity that I have for you guys. What we have here on top is a word writing bank. So all kinds of different words that they could use that they're going to put in their story. Then we have the story starters, which I love. So you can get a whole notebook or a piece of paper and have them use one of these story starters. They can pick using these words up in your word box. And you can say use 1 or 2, use 3. You could cut these apart and have them grab them out of a bag, and pick a couple that way at random. And then down here, we have our writing checklist. So it's making sure that we are writing good stories. Complete thought. Each sentence starts with a capital letter. Each sentence ends with a punctuation punctuation mark, using proper spacing, and I use my best handwriting skills. Apparently I'm not using my best talking skills. And so then you can write a story based on all of these things, or a journal entry, get some writing practice in. This is a little bit more advanced because you're dealing with a lot of concepts here. You're dealing with vocabulary, you're dealing with story structure, and you're dealing with punctuation and making sure you are accomplishing all these things. But it is a great little tool and a worksheet that's already done for you. So if your child's at this skill level, as is my second grader, she'd be able to do this. I recently picked up this score on a Black Friday. If you saw my Instagram stories, we talked about that, and I was very happy to have gotten this. I thought this would be a great thing to pull out for a Santa card writing. This whole thing is normally $19, but I got it on sale for $4.99 at Michael's. It was quite the steal, you guys. But I like it because it's kind of pre-made, and the kids kind of like that pre-made stuff. So I could grab a couple of cards out here, and they're just blank inside. You could use paper and fold it over. That's what works completely fine too. And then it has envelopes. Kids love the envelopes. I don't know what it is about them. And so we have a couple of envelopes here. And so you can just make a Santa card writing tray. You can do this too and tell them it's imaginative play. So they can do it for their dolls, or what if their pet dog wanted something. Add in some writing utensils on that tray, other glitter or some stickers. I have some stickers we can add in too. And then they can work on writing letters to Santa, just because you're providing something concrete for them to create. I also like using this in imaginative play. So maybe their stuffed animal, or their baby sister that can't, is only an infant, or maybe their pet. And so you can think of some different things that they would like to ask Santa, of course, explaining that it is pretend. You can be very creative on this, and I know all of you guys have art supplies that you can pull together and make a tray for card writing to Santa. If you have a really cool activity that you're doing with your kids, tell me about it down below. I love reading what you are doing, what you're up to, and I also like it when you guys talk to each other and give each other advice and ideas. I think that's amazing. Make sure to click subscribe to see more videos like this, and give me a thumbs up to show your love.